Are you doing a showing an artifact?
And I think we are on. Give it
We
just
are
a
indeed.
All right, sweet. Everybody, welcome back. This is our nightly live with Historical Light, and we got a special guest with us this evening, Brother Craddock.
Hello, hello, everybody.
So Historical Light has decided we're going to do nightly lives during this whole virus deal to go in line with the Grand Lodge of England doing their special toasts, traditional special toasts at 9 p.m. We decided we go live at around 8:45, share a little bit of history or a historical item, and then have our ending toast at 9. So we're lucky enough this evening, we're actually recording a awesome episode with Brother Craddock here, and he was kind enough to stick around, and he said he would even offer up our toast this evening. So with that, the item that I brought tonight, Robert shared very cool, very well done painting by his grandmother last night. I was really impressed actually by the quality there. Very amused by the note on the back of it. That was a surprise afterwards. But so I've talked on the show many times, and actually in the episode we recorded tonight about my father-in-law that passed away last year. He's my Masonic father, mentor, and very, very deeply involved in Masonry and politics and everything he could get his hands on. But one of his prides was George Washington. And there's actually a George Washington tree, or a sapling of a George Washington tree in Lenexa where he lives or lived. And he took care of that tree personally for many, many years. Every holiday, federal holiday, he'd go out there and place American flags all around it. Just that tree meant everything to him. It was from George Washington. It was a personal connection to him. So he made sure from the time it was planted up until his last days that it had attention going to it, that it was getting taken care of, that everyone knew about it. Well, Brother Keith McMinnon from Cambridge up in Massachusetts sent me a really, really cool gift. And it was literally, I mean, it came in literally 2 days before he passed away. I think I showed him this either 2 days or the day before he passed away. Keith never told me what he was sending me. Just asked me for my address, said, I got something I want to send your way. By all means. I was pretty stunned. I hadn't had that previous conversation with him before, but it was just kind of one of those draw the luck things. This is what arrived. Now, this is a Washington elm gavel. The head of this gavel was actually made from the original Washington elm tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like the head of the gavel is also shaped like an actual gavel too, right?
Yes,
it is. A mallet or a...
It is, yeah. So the handle is just wood, just to clarify that. It's just the head of the gavel that's actually from the tree. And then we've got this down here on the very tip of it. It's actually inscribed. And what it says on there says, this gavel's head is from a piece of the Washington elm that was taken down in 1923 due to disease. At the time, it was 210 years old, and it was said that General George Washington stood under this tree when he took command of the Continental Army on July 3rd, 1775. Many believe that this was possibly a myth, but today the stories are still told about this, and it's an icon into history. This gavel was presented on May 24th of 1928 to St. John's Lodge No. 1. Looks like it was founded in 1757 in New York City. Today is the oldest lodge in the state of New York. It was presented by St. John's Lodge of Boston, 1733, upon a fraternal visit, the oldest lodge in Massachusetts. Says the ancient York Masons and ancient accepted Masons, a title held perhaps by no other lodge in the United States. It was donated to the Cambridge Masonic Temple in 2015. They, over the last few years, have kind of been downsizing some of their collection. He wanted to make sure it went into good hands of somebody that would appreciate it for what it is. Like I said, I had no idea what was actually coming my way, but I was able to take this, like I said, the day before my father-in-law passed away, take that up to hospice and actually let him hold it and see it. And it was a pretty special moment, as you can imagine, but more so that, I shared that with Brother Keith and he was blown away too. just the just the happening of it. You know, he didn't quite plan it that way. I didn't plan it that way, but one of those moments that I'll never forget. And you know, obviously I cherish this more for that reason even than what it is. So it's a piece that will always stay within my collection and mean a great deal to me. With that, Brother Craddock, since we got you on tonight, I want to give you a chance. You got some pretty cool stuff in the background there. What is something you could share with us?
Oh, show and tell time, huh?
Oh yeah, of course.
In the background, let's look and see. Oh, so if you can see this right here,
Yes, indeed.
that's the oldest apron that I have in my collection. It probably dates to about the 1780s. I don't know anything about the maker, and I can only give you a rough guesstimate of the age by what I've learned about the ability to judge the how old aprons are. It's very indicative of that kind of early, either the colonial era or the early U.S. Time frame. What else have I got? Oh, this 1780. If you listen to the episode that we just taped later, this apron right here is one of the first 3 aprons that I ever created. I painted it for a friend of mine who was in the reenacting group that I was in, who passed away last year. And his son, who was not a Mason, gave that back to me. And I'm keeping it to the time where if his son ever decides to join the craft, he's going to get it. But
that's awesome.
That is one of the first 3 aprons that I ever produced. One of those, I made 3 at the same time when I made the first one, and that's one of them. This over here, right there.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody can see the detail on that, but we were talking about the trip that Stoops and I took to Scotland earlier, and we happened to go by the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum, and in it is his Masonic apron. So guess what I'm making an authentic hand-painted copy of?
Oh, no way. That's awesome, man.
Yes, Wade. Yeah. So
Very,
that's on my
cool
easel
stuff.
right now.
So what is the coolest artifact you maybe have in your collection? What's your favorite piece you have in your collection? Because you're a man of history for sure. I know you've got some cool stuff.
There's a number of things that I could that I could pull out to show. I'm trying to see if I've got anything in here of particular interest that I have. I'm surrounded by old aprons, things like that. Golly, if I had to say the coolest thing. Oh, that's one that I was caught off guard with. I've got to think about that. And I'm trying to think of what I can bring up in front of the computer to show, but most of my things are hanging on the wall, or the only thing I've got to show off on my desk right now is a bottle of Penderyn. So
hey, nothing wrong with that. That's why we're here, right? We're going to do that toast.
This is the toasting beverage of choice this evening. This is a Welsh whiskey made at the Penderyn Distillery in the Brecon Beacons. It's my personal go-to favorite. I brought this bottle back from me last summer when I was over in Wales. Cracked it open tonight for this special occasion, since you've given me the honor to
fantastic
offer the toast, and that'll be my show and tell for this evening.
Fantastic. Well, in the words of our dear friend, Brother James Jack, why no?
Well, why no?
Yeah, I love keeping up with all his posts, man. He's everywhere he goes. He's always with his wee Helen.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull something off my wall that I want to show.
Hey, let's do it.
This goes back to Annual Communication 2 years ago.
Okay.
And at that time, the Grand Lodge was having a competition for designing its first permanent hard plastic dues card.
Yes.
Which you may have in your pocket.
I do.
And lo and behold, the design that I suggested won the competition. And anyone who knows me knows that It really makes me uncomfortable to be called up in front of people to be recognized for anything. And Darren Kellerman, hello, Darren, if you're out there, called me up on stage at the banquet that evening. And so I have a special presentation for Brother Craddock, who won the competition for the dues card. And I go up there and I'm, it's killing me because I'm up in front of all these people, getting recognized for something I would do anyway, right? And he hands me this frame, and I don't even look at it. Everybody's clapping, and he knows I'm dying inside because he knows me well. And I go back to the table. I have this frame thing, which I just set down on the table, face down. I don't even look at it. And about 10 minutes later, I thought, okay, I need to see what this is that they gave me, and so I've hung it on my wall. And this is one of my favorite Masonic artifacts that I have a connection with. This is a certificate that says, if we couldn't design our own dues card, why do you think we'd have a custom certificate made for you? So
I remember that.
Yeah, this is the best thing ever right here. And it hangs in a very prominent place on my office wall. So that's, I love it. It's the best thing ever.
That sounds like the sense of humor I've come to know from past Grandmaster.
Oh, yeah.
Kellerman. That is really funny.
And I just dropped it, so I'll hang that up later.
And that's technically a big deal Kellerman, by the way.
A big deal Kellerman. That's right.
No, I do. I remember you getting that. More importantly, I remember you posting it when you got back home, and it was hysterical because you had it hanging on the wall next to all these other like prominent awards and stuff.
Yeah,
and there it is, right in the middle.
That's it.
Fantastic. Spot on. Well, brothers, we are 2 minutes away. So, Brother Craddock, I am going to hand it over to you. And we really appreciate you being with us tonight, not only for the episode, everyone keep an eye out for that, but for staying with us and offering up a toast this evening. It means a lot.
Well, thank you, brother. It's a great honor for me to be asked to give this toast this evening. As I mentioned in the episode we recorded earlier, my first experience with a Festa board was when I was living in Wales in the early and mid 90s. And of course, at that time, I learned about the 9 o'clock toast and was taught why the 9 o'clock toast is given at 9 o'clock. And that's because if you can see my clock back there, but if I don't have it running at the moment, but it is set to 9 o'clock, and the 9 o'clock toast is given because on an analog clock, the arms form a right angle, a square. And so at that time, and I'm watching the clock, I've got 8:59. So that's the time that we have been charged with remembering absent brethren. And absent brethren does not necessarily mean those that have passed away. It could also be those that are not at your gathering that you're used to seeing. So it's appropriate to remember the brothers that you would like to see. And in this time, when we do have to keep a distance and meet each other electronically like this, in essence, we're all absent from the company that we're used to keeping. And so when we think about our brethren being apart during this time, I think it is appropriate, as it just turned 9 o'clock, to remember those who have gone before us and those whose company we cannot join at the current time. So, brethren, it is 9 o'clock, and I give you absent brethren. Absent brethren.
Your absent brethren.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brother Craddock.
My pleasure.
Now, I'm interested what you guys were toasting with this evening. Personally here, I've got the, my wife grabbed one at random. But it's a Grand Lodge of Kansas toasting cannon. This one appears to be from the 2019 Leadership Academy. I don't know if you guys can see a little bit of that logo there. Brother Craddock, I think you had one of your special glasses. Mind sharing?
Yeah, I found this at a little company that makes clever designs.
Oh,
no skulls in masonry.
No skulls in masonry.
That's right.
This is a glass. I chose it for tonight because of that. I call this design Memento Mori. And it's something that is available through the Craftsman's Apron. It's a deep etched cut. It's not frosted on there. It's hard
Yeah,
to see.
that's
in glass.
quality.
Actually cut on there. And I'm enjoying a wee drop of Penderyn to toast to this evening.
Fantastic. Well, you know that that goes very well with the Historical Light logo, as we use Memento Mori as part of our logo and design as well, because it means a great deal. Brother Robert, what are you toasting with tonight, brother?
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was ordering one of those Memento Mori glasses. Well, before I show you what I toasted with, I will re-show you, since people haven't seen the episode yet, my Craftsman Apron tessellated square apron, my all-seeing eye Craftsman Apron lapel pin. I'll remind everyone that this year's Texas District Deputy Grandmaster aprons were made by Brother Craddock. And I will show you what I toasted with. This is, as it's labeled, I don't know if you can see it, Robert's Flagon. This was made by Tom McGuire down at Fossil Bluff. He surprised me with it at Robert Burns Lodge during their last meeting when I gave the immortal memory. And it's full of Shiner Prickly Pear beer.
Fantastic. Yes, Brother McGuire. He's another one that has some fantastic products out there.
I was going to say shout out to Brother McGuire, because he's
Indeed.
a great designer and creates fantastic products.
Indeed. Well, with that, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining in. This, obviously means a great deal for us to be able to have some time with all of you live. Historical Light doesn't do a whole lot of lives, but this means a lot to be able to share a few minutes, especially a few meaningful minutes like this, and share a toast with you in the evening. So keep in mind, we're going to be doing this every evening, 8:45 to 9, share a little bit of history and end it with a toast. So with that said, we will see you all tomorrow, and stay safe out there. All right. Take care.
Good night, brethren.